So recently I realized the profound difference between how a painting looks where the canvas was smoothly gessoed versus the one where the canvas was pre-made, the ones where you buy at the store. This whole time I've been making these complex, highly detailed paintings without even considering if I apply a few layers of gesso, I could paint much more crisp and clear detail. Look at these two paintings that I did. One is a standard canvas and the other one has several coats of gesso that give it a very smooth surface. The difference is striking. I used the same painting techniques with both of these, having basically the same painting subjects, just some groups of plants here. But notice how in the first one, the paint is kind of soaked into the grain of the canvas. The mixture, no matter how well I blended and used medium, still looks grainy compared to this one. However, the second one, the colors and detail are much clearer, more defined, and at the same time the blending is smoother. Using more gesso to prime the canvas will help you use your paints the way you intend to, whereas the standard canvas will inhibit the true way you intend to use your paints. There are advantages to using a rougher texture. They are made for a reason. If you want to paint something abstract and apply thick layers of paint, the coarse texture helps soak up the paint more and has a better grip on your brushing. However, if you want to paint the finest, sharpest detail, you have to use a smooth surface. This helps the smaller paintbrushes glide over the canvas as you're applying the paint. So what surprises me the most is how I spent all these years working on these complex paintings without really thinking about the importance of gessoing or what kind of canvas I was working on in the first place. I took it for granted and I thought that my skill level would override whatever kind of surface texture I was working on. So I've always thought that the store-bought pre-made ones were smooth enough to paint on because, they were already pre-gessoed. And plus, I always added a layer of underpainting every time I started a painting. However, in the back of my mind, I always had this nagging frustration that my details still didn't turn out that well. Something about the painting still didn't sit well with me. This all culminated when I was working on the portrait where I attempted to paint the hyper-realism. I spent countless hours trying to work every minute detail in the skin textures, and I had used a large canvas as well, thinking that just because I used a larger canvas will guarantee that I could create a hyper-realistic masterpiece. I kept going back and reviewing the painting, taking many progress photos, but something just felt off about it. The details still looked kind of flat and grainy. I did more research online on what these artists do to make their paintings stand out so much. The one common denominator was that they all painted on an ultra-smooth surface, either a panel or a highly gessoed canvas. This was when the light bulb went on and I realized I needed to take more time prepping my canvas or using a different surface altogether. Even though I did all these steps correctly, I was still missing the key component that would still have made the difference. But at that point it was too late to gesso the canvas. I had to start over. Instead of doing that, I bought a brand new canvas and started a new project, but this time fully prepared with multiple layers of gesso that I smoothed out. I was pleasantly surprised with the results. Even at these early stages of the painting, I could already see the potential of this new way of doing things. But looking back at all these paintings I've done, and now seeing this huge breakthrough I just made, I'm excited to enter this new stage of my painting journey. Everything I learned up to this point has prepared me to take my painting to the next level. Maybe you have hit a wall with your painting skills. It's possible that this video was the one for you, and that your frustration may not even be related to what paints or brushes or techniques you're using. It may be as simple as you're painting in the wrong environment.